Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening, wherever you are listening to this podcast. I'm Ariel,
I'm Shaya.
and welcome to being here.
Yes, indeed.
Today's episode, Thoughtless Action, which is kind of like Shai and I finishing each other's sentences. We don't think about it. It is just something so natural that it happens.
Well, the other thing is this. If you use your eyes, you'll see what's needed. You don't have to really think about it. Although I've noticed that my internal conversation, my thoughts, likes to tell me what I'm going to do anyway.
Yes.
Like if I'm wading in the river, it'll say, be careful now. The rocks are slippery when I'm slipping on rocks. So I already know that it's slippery, but the voice likes to be in control, likes to be in charge, and likes to tell you how to do it.
So you've already registered the facts.
Exactly.
And after the registration comes the commentary.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's how the mind works. It likes to talk.
But if you can discover how to engage in your life directly as an experience, not as a thought about it, that's when life becomes magical. And that happens primarily through listening.
Or looking, or feeling, or tasting, through the senses that bring you into your experience, bring your experience to you. When you drop into that, the commentary fades to the background.
Right. I was watching Simone Biles a couple of days ago. There was a thing on television about her, and she's just such a consummate athlete. And I guarantee you, when she's in the midst of those twists and spins and jumps and whatever she does, she's not thinking how to do it.
No.
It's all muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's all engagement with totality. And there's something just brilliant about that, where it's not about what do I do next. It's an action that takes place in response to what the moment is calling for. The other thing, I watch shorts on YouTube, and recently I've seen a lot of Mike Tyson fights, moments from Mike Tyson. And he was such an amazing athlete and fighter. Not that I'm big into fighting. I don't watch boxing, but these shorts, they come up on you, they're random. And so you'll have somebody surfing a giant wave and somebody taking a picture of a bird flying. And then all of a sudden you have Mike Tyson fighting. And so interestingly enough, when I don't think about it, but I allow myself to experience what shows up, it's all magic.
Yeah, I was thinking about it a little bit after our podcast last week. If you haven't heard it, it was on the theme of aggravation. And it was really inspiring for us, conversation with our two guests, Sandra and James. In particular, I was thinking about James, who is going back to work after being on a sabbatical for 3.5 months, about how the full engagement into stepping into the office when he goes there and looking and seeing who's there will beget thoughtless action. Where if you have that gap and you're standing back and you're thinking about how it's going to be.
You did say full engagement, though.
I did.
Because if you're thinking about it, you're not fully engaged in it. Anything you're thinking, see, no two things can occupy you at the same time. So you can either be thinking about something or you can engage in the activity, but you can't really do both.
Let's take our first guest.
That's a great idea.
I love it. Vivian, welcome to being here. Tell people where you're zooming in from today.
Hi, Ariel. Hi, Shaya.
Hi.
I'm calling in from Munich today.
Excellent. Welcome, Vivian. Nice to
Thanks.
see
Thank you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, let's see. Today I was walking or wanted to cross the street and climb over the tram. What do you call them in English? The tram tracks, exactly. And it was just like you said, Shaya, and I thought you have to be very careful because you're going to step off them and there will be cars coming, so you have to be very careful. And sure enough, I kind of slipped and I thought, okay, well, I saw it in a way, I saw it coming, even though I told myself I wasn't going to do it. So anyway, thoughtless action. Well, I feel like I have it all the time. And I have a friend. Um, she is a very good friend, very nice person. We see each other quite a bit. She leaves Munich for 2 weeks to live in another place, and then she comes back again for 2 weeks. And she likes to hang out a lot. And though I appreciate it, I find myself that I like to I don't know how to say this. She likes to I think she has trouble staying alone, and so she really always looks for company, a lot of company. And I sometimes feel bothered by it, and I don't know really why. And sometimes I put her off, and that's something I've noticed that I've been doing, and it's just something I would like to see if I can engage maybe in a way where I can be more clear about what it is that I want and how we could do it. And yeah.
Well, your conversation you just had with us is a little difficult to jump into because a lot of it's got to do with change. A lot of it's got to do with your judgment system about your friend that you're listening to.
And problem solution. I have a problem with my friend and I'd like a solution for how to be.
Yeah.
The thing is this, Vivian, when you're actually being present in your life, you're not thinking about how to manipulate the circumstances to get to what you think will be better. That's all change. In transformation, you notice what is as much as possible non-judgmentally, because you will judge. And if you see yourself judging and you don't judge yourself for judging, that judgmental nature will kind of dry up. But if you judge yourself for judging, it gets more engaged. So that's the third and first principle of instantaneous transformation. If you allow what is to be and bring awareness to it, it completes itself. If you disagree, like it isn't the way you want it to be, you think you ought to be different, then that keeps it in place. So somehow when you talk about your friend, it isn't very friendly because
Yeah.
conversation is such that she needs to change and be different for you to be around her.
Yeah, as if she's causing your aggravation. And I'll bet you the way you relate to your friend, I'm just gonna give her a fake name so we don't have to keep saying your friend, your friend. Let's say her name is Susie.
Is the way you relate to yourself.
Yeah.
So Susie's coming over at 3:00 and you're like, oh, do I really want to do this? Does she really want? You don't. If you say, yeah, come on over, let's meet, you then second guess your choice. It's less about her and more about whether or not you go through your life fully engaging in what you've agreed to or what you're actually going to do as if it's your idea.
Or whether you question yourself
and if
about it.
you're a victim of life circumstances.
So you say yes, and then you victimize yourself by having said yes. Because you give yourself options.
Which is not like a Vivian failing. It's a common way most of us have been enculturated in a very kid thing to do. I mean, did you ever come home and complain to your parents that you had homework you had to do?
Never. Of course.
I mean,
Yeah.
when as a kid, most of us own learning subjects that weren't our favorites as if it was our idea and we couldn't wait to do it in the afternoon or on a Sunday or get ready. We've been trained our whole life to complain about the things we're going to do anyway. And we haven't meticulously trained ourselves to jump over that line of thought and into what we're going to do anyway, as if it's our idea.
Yeah. I see it. And
Well, hold on.
I guess I can just, I know.
You
Now you're
see
still
it.
in chains.
No. You see it and you complain to yourself that you still do it rather than just see it.
And then you say, I guess I can just, do you see how your mind is creating a strategy for how to be a better you in the future?
Terrible.
No, that is what keeps it in place. That's terrible. Is a judgment, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So, okay, you have to find a place of neutrality. All right. So if you say terrible and you see that that's judgmental, then don't judge yourself for judging. And if you judge yourself for judging, notice you judge yourself for judging and don't judge yourself for judging when you're judging. Eventually, you may be able to reach this state of neutrality where you just notice the way you're being. That's all it takes, by the way.
Your friend, every couple of weeks, your friend is offering you an opportunity to be honest. So if I were to say to you, hey, Vivian, I'm coming back tonight, let's get together, and you're not feeling like it, you have the potential to say, Earl, I'm really not up for it tonight. I need a break. How about tomorrow? Or can we meet for lunch day after tomorrow? Or where you could offer something that feels right to you. Or you can hold it that Ariel has a problem. She has a problem being alone. And, as opposed to maybe Ariel just likes your company.
Well, of course I'm able to say that and be clear about what it is that I would like, and I can say it to her. And it's just sometimes when I'm not able to do it, it's like what you said. It's like judging that I'm judgmental, and it's just this spiral. And yeah.
Well, maybe there's nothing you can do about that.
Excuse me?
Maybe there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
You're looking for a solution. You're looking to be over with this behavior. You're thinking this behavior is the wrong behavior, and if I were a better person, I wouldn't have this behavior. But unless you're willing to see the behavior, you have no possibility of it completing itself.
See, I have a feeling that you're mistaken, that you think sometimes you get together with her when you don't want to. As opposed to you do want to, because obviously that's what you're doing, but you haven't caught the knack of fully engaging in whatever it is that you're doing with consistency.
So then you find fault with her as a way of not fully engaging, rather than realize that the mechanics of Vivian's life tend to go towards agreeing to do things and then complaining to herself that she agreed to do it. Does that sound familiar, my dear?
It does. I get caught up in these thoughts. My friend, she smokes and drinks. She likes to smoke and drink, and that's fine, even though I don't like to engage in that as much as her. And so it's, I have so many judgments.
Well, you could try being honest,
Yeah.
where you say, what did we say? Her name was Susie?
Susie, we're making
Yeah,
her
well,
Susie.
Susie. Susie, look, I like hanging out with you sometimes, but when you smoke and drink, I really don't like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Or let's do something without drinking involved, or I don't know. Or, she's your friend.
I know. She is.
The other thing is this: you became friends with her when you were a different person, and your way of looking at life has changed, where getting drunk is no longer one of the things that you do. And there was a time that that's what you did when you were really upset.
Yeah.
And as you become less upset, there's less of a need to drink to excess. I'm not telling you not to drink.
But the other thing too is somehow, as you're talking about your friend here, you want us to side with you that there's something wrong with her, rather than you're uncomfortable.
And are looking for something, for a reason to blame it on.
We live out in the country. We know very few people who live out here. The majority of our friends live a distance away, at very closest 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and more in the city. And then, of course, we have lots of friends who we can Zoom with, like yourself, who are living in Munich or in Switzerland or someplace else. And from time to time, I have the conversation, gee, it's kind of lonesome out here. It's just Shia and me. And then I set up something with a friend of mine, and we're going to come over and we're going to go for a walk. And I'm like, do I really want to do this today? If I'm going to be here on my own, I can fully engage and have just an amazing, well, I'll do it both walks by myself, where I'm fully engaged and enjoying where I'm at, or I'm fully engaged with the person who comes to visit and we go for a walk, or I'm complaining about being alone and then complaining about being with people. It's all about whether or not I'm fully engaging in my life as if it's showing up and I'm the author.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Well, the other sounds good too, though.
Well,
Sorry.
look, you have a judgmental nature. Everybody has a judgmental nature. Your judgmental nature judges you for being judgmental.
That's true.
Rather than just noticing
that
I complain about everything. Okay. And be kind to yourself when you notice it. See, you're not kind to yourself when you notice it. You complain to you that I shouldn't be this way.
Yes.
Well, you can't help but be that way when you're that way. So enjoy it.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for being with us today. Really. And here's the thing, in the change modality, the mind wants to have had a conversation that at the end of which you now have whole strategies to go forward, and it's solved, and all you need to do is implement the tips. In transformation, it's like,
it's like
here I am.
Just bringing your awareness to what is without coming to any conclusions about what it means
is enough.
I love that.
Great.
Yes, so do I.
Thanks for
Thank you.
Vivian.
Bye.
Bye.
Now it's your turn. Let's hear what one of you listeners has to say about being here in the transformation community.
This is Deirdre in Paris, and I love listening to the Being Here podcast. It always brings me back to a center, and every time surprises me. Every time I see something new, something from a slightly different angle, and I finish the episode happy.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
We have a couple of Living Made Easy seminars coming up, August 12th and the 24th. Don't know if you're currently listening to this in the archives or if you're listening to it in real time. If you're listening in the archives, you can look and see what's upcoming at the time frame you're listening.
By looking at our schedule.
Yeah, at transformationmadeeasy.com. Our next weekend seminars are transformational time and project management via Zoom. It's a virtual seminar.
It's September 28th and 29th.
Then we're heading off to pretty close to, at least a lot closer.
We're going
than
to
this.
Hamburg.
We're going to Hamburg. So it's a little closer to Vivian than it is here in New Jersey.
Yes.
We're doing 2 courses, The Freedom to Breathe on Thursday, October 31st. And then The Art of Being Happy, November 1st through 3rd. Again, Costa Rica, if you're joining us this year, don't forget, you need to attend at least one weekend seminar throughout the course of the year to be eligible. You can find out all about our seminars, sign up for our newsletter at
transformationmadeeasy.com.
Let's take our next guest.
Yes, Dorina.
Welcome to being here. Where are you zooming in from today?
Hi, Ariel. Hi, Shaya.
Hi, Dorina.
Hi. I'm zooming in from Hamburg, Germany.
Welcome to
Excellent.
being here.
Thank you so much.
What can we do for you, my dear?
First of all, thank you to have me. It's really great to listen to you, and it brings me really to the moment. And yeah, I was just thinking of a story what I had in my head, and about thoughtless action. So what I experienced this day. It's just I enjoy very much to be here and listen to you too.
Well, first of all, I love that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And if you have a story about thoughtless action, I still think that for some of our listeners, the whole concept may be a bit confusing. So if you have an example, I'm up for hearing it.
Yeah. So I'm working as a beauty advisor in the cosmetic industry.
Mhm.
And I'm not only giving consultations, I also sell cosmetic products. What I love to sell. And so in these days, we have from time to time less to do because we are missing customers, and I don't know, maybe it's not the holiday, or it's just we have not much going on right now.
Okay.
So, and I feel myself that I don't know, I want to do something, then I have my thoughts about, okay, so what can I do? And I'm prepare myself of being in action. So that means that I'm looking for customers, what they're walking around. And today I had a customer, I reached out to her another day, and she came just to visit me. And we had a nice chat. And then at one point I was thinking, hey, she wants to go on holidays. Maybe she needs a product, just to say. And I offered her a product in her range, what she normally has, and just yeah, I wanted to not only give her like a recommendation. I at one point I felt I also want to sell something because when I sell something, it's my job. It gives me a feeling of being successful.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm coming home and I feel good. So, and it was a little bit weird. We had a nice talk, and then at one point, when I was asking her, "Oh, you have an interest in this product I recommend to you," and she said, "Yeah, not now. I will come another time. It's really great what you tell me, but I will come after I traveled, and I will come back to you." And I said, "Well, that's great." And we chat, but I changed my mood. My mood was like I was like under pressure suddenly, and I was not like this friendly you to you. It was like the official you. Here we have in Germany we say Sie. And she said to me, huh? Why you are telling me like officially you, like the Sie? We were like saying you to each other. And I was like, oh wow, that's I
Well,
didn't get it.
Serena, darling, you have an idea that your value is in selling. And if you're not selling, you don't have any value.
Yeah.
So you
And-
said it, you feel like a success, so you come home feeling good. And on a day when you're not selling, you're not a success by that metric, and then you don't feel so well.
So I just want to propose a possibility that you have absolutely no control over whether, see, I play solitaire on my iPad. I play computer solitaire.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have no control over how the game is going to go if I am, even if I make all the moves that are possible to make, doesn't mean I'm going to win the game. Because the computer sets it up, and then it's like shuffling the cards.
And the fun is in playing the game to the best of his ability, not in winning.
I see.
See, you've got that the circumstance determines your satisfaction.
Yeah.
How it turns out will make you either happy or sad.
And at some point, you made it about you rather than about your customer and her desires and you backing her up.
And the reason she backed off is you tried to sell her for you, not for her.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a shift.
Well, yes, but that's when your survival. Look, your husband, Mark,
Yes.
is he making money these days?
Yeah.
So you're not starving.
No.
The rent paid?
Yes.
There's food in the refrigerator?
Yes.
If you want, you could go out to dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Right. So your survival is not at stake. You can enjoy your customers rather than try to sell them. If they want something, they will ask you.
Yeah.
Trying to manipulate them to get sales so you feel more successful is all about you, not about taking care of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt weird that I was changing also this kind of you and Z. Like it was weird.
That's because you hurt yourself with her not doing what you wanted. But now I could extrapolate from that. I could see from that you hurt yourself when Mark does things that you would prefer he not do. You see that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can hurt yourself, or you can just notice the cards you're dealt in any given moment.
I walked down, I went for a walk the other day by myself, and I walked into New Hope, Pennsylvania. And I walked by a place where these women were handing out samples of their beauty products. And I didn't want it when I went by. And I'm like, no, thank you. And I walked by, and when I came back, they were still standing there. And I had registered that they had a reaction to my saying, no, thank you. And so I had a choice of either walking to the other side of the street, or not. And as I came by, the lady said, have you changed your mind yet? How about something for your eyes? But my eyes needed help because there was something wrong with them, or they looked old, or they looked tired, or there was something in there. And I thought, wow, it was such an attack and a jab, because she was mad that I didn't the first time. And I thought that will be the very last place I ever buy any beauty products of any kind, because I don't want anything to do with that person touching my face.
Yeah.
It was really about her, having nothing to do with me.
See, if your life is about service of others, taking care of others, then your life is very fulfilled. If you're about getting happiness, finding happiness by being successful in what you say will make you happy, and I say it doesn't make you happy anyway. See, I don't care whether you sold a dozen products more than you normally would in a day. By the end of the day, if you're not happy, period, you're not going to be happy after you sold those products. You might have a moment's satisfaction out of, well, I accomplished my goal. But if you're not well in Dorina, you're not kind to Dorina in your thoughts, if you're not allowing Dorina to be okay the way she is, then nothing will be satisfying.
Yes, I get it.
And baby, it applies to your relationship to your husband too. If you're not being kind to you, he can't do enough or anything to make you feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. I can really see that.
Good. Now,
I feel it.
Yes. And if you see it and don't judge yourself for it, it can dissolve.
Now, here's the thing. You saw this phenomena that happened when you were in survival, where you switched from being friendly to
being formal
and in your speech. And it's going to be so easy now, Dorina, to beat yourself up for that, or analyze it, or work on it, or keep touching back on it. And the more you can allow yourself the grace to have been off-centered in that moment and not beat yourself up for it, you have no clue what's going to happen with that person. It may transform between the two of you, but certainly you're much less likely to repeat it, because if you resist it, you will have to do it again until it becomes something that's neutral. What we don't like about ourselves, we definitely repeat.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And I have to tell you, there have been times when we've come to Hamburg and you've sold products that don't work for me. That you sold me a lipstick. I love the color, but the taste and the smell, and I don't even think you're working for the same company, was something that I couldn't tolerate, and I needed to throw that product out because I'd already used it. I couldn't give it to somebody else, but it just didn't work for me because it had a fragrance. I'm so glad that I came to visit you and you were happy for me to visit you, because at some point there's the likelihood that you will have something that I can partake in. But if you got angry at me for not wanting what you had to offer, somehow in there you miss that your clients like you, sometimes even more than the products you may be selling.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's
So Dorina,
Mm-hmm.
see if you can be kind to Dorina.
Yes.
See if you can play the game of enjoying your customers, not selling them things, just enjoying them, and see if they want to buy things just because they want to buy things. No
Mhm.
pressure to produce.
Good. Yeah. That's really the fun experience what I know. I mean, it's really, yeah. I
Yes.
love my job, and this is the best experience I ever can have. Absolutely.
Sweet. So
Yeah.
happy with this today.
Yes.
It's fun to see you.
And you look very beautiful these days. I like who I see.
You know, the one other thing about that product that didn't work for me years ago, you have such a great eye. That was the best color lip gloss ever. It took me
Mwah.
years to find something that would be even comparable to that. I was kind of bummed that the thing itself didn't work because you did such an amazing job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
you.
Yeah. That's my passion too.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Talking to Dorina, I realized that when you engage your passion to anything, you're more likely to step into actions that are inspiring rather than having that backlash.
Absolutely.
If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, feel free. We'd love to have you as a regular listener. And if you're already a regular listener, shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Next week podcast
you ready?
is
Time. For everything, there is a season. All right, we'll be back next week.
So come on back
And don't miss
being here.